I'll go like okay. What's going on, guys? How you all doing? My name is Jason Joseph, and of course, this is another episode of Sharing the Mic with JJ. And this week, I got a great guest on. He's my boy. It's David 3000, man. He's been putting out some incredible content out there. You know, he's got Snowman involved, and he's been doing some incredible things. Especially with like a lot of sports content that he has out there. David 3000, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on here.
Yes, thank you. And I'm happy because the Red Sox won last night versus the Astros, and last we were recording this in 10 innings, so we tried to win the series today in a half hour, and then once the
Oh
game
wow.
starts. But um, yeah, I'm just doing good. And the fall is right around the corner because that's when the sports really come into play. Starting this weekend actually with college football coming.
Look, we're gonna get into sports and we're gonna talk all about like the content that you've been doing and all those types of things. But first of all, dude, I have to tell you, man, that your Boston Red Sox.
Mm,
Actually, you know what? You know what? We will start over here. Your
okay.
Boston Red Sox, dude. Um, they have been very surprising to me, but also not so surprising because they're the Boston Red Sox and they always stay involved. And every year that you think that they're going to have a down year, they're like either a middle of the pack or they're at the top of their game. How do you think that the Boston Red Sox have done this year? Have they exceeded your expectations or have they not exceeded your expectations?
Honestly, with the Red Sox this year, we have dealt a lot of injuries, especially earlier in the season with Corey Cooper, Chris Sale, not, other players as well. Our pitching rotation has not been that good, but we're trying to get pieces back together in place right now. Trevor Story's coming back.
Yep.
Uh, one disappointment, Rafael Devers is struggling a little bit right now, but hopefully he'll get back to being consistent. He's just in the slump, of course, and with the Red Sox right now, I think this is what we kind of expected as for being a 500 ball club because um we're not like because the AL East right now is the toughest division in
It is the
baseball by
toughest
far,
division. It is.
and with the Rays, the Rays being the Rays, Baltimore Orioles, the future is there for them right now.
Yep.
This is only the begin. This is only the start. First place right now for Baltimore Orioles, only a few games back on the Rays. The Blue Jays is a scary team as for the office side. The Yankees, I mean, I'm shocked of the Yankees because they're in last place right now, and I always thought, there will be a few games, in front of the Red Sox,
Yep.
and they're in last place right now, about 9 games back behind in the wild card as we're recording this, and I'm sure they'll find a way. I know this might sound crazy, but people say this season this is a disaster for the Yankees. It's over for them. I mean, come on, they've been in playoffs since 2017, and they'll find a way to get to the playoffs. So, and as for the Red Sox, I don't know if they'll go to the playoffs, to be honest, because we need to stay healthy and consistent, keep the team winning series, and if we do that well, we'll be just fine. With and hopefully Chris Sale get back on track with pitching, and everybody else in the bullpen, starting with Tayson, and hopefully Kenny Jansen is okay because he got hurt last night.
Right. Yeah, I
So
saw that.
that's all I have to say right now.
Yeah. Well, I personally think that the Red Sox are actually playing with house money in a sense because they were not expected to be like a contender, right? Like they were not expected to be a wild card contender. So they've actually, I mean, like when I'm looking at it from just an outsider's perspective, they have
Hmm.
exceeded my expectations because I actually did expect them to be in last place. And not only did I expect them to be in last place, but I thought that maybe that like at best that they were gonna, like win 70 games during the regular season, and that they were going to be 70 and 92. That was the prediction that I had.
Okay.
Excuse me. And so they have exceeded my expectations in that sort of sense. But it also doesn't surprise me because they're the Boston Red Sox. They always stay involved. Every time that you think that they're out, they're always in it. And that's just how it is. I don't understand it. I mean, part of it goes to Dave Dombrowski for setting up the franchise the way that it was, but even before
Unfortunately, High
Dombrowski, even
unfortunately High Bloom just messed it up the roster because we keep
right.
getting injured, and
Yes.
our roster right now is not a, a good fit because our
No.
players are on a contract that is
Expiring contracts. Yeah.
expiring contracts, yes, and
Yep.
we need a roster like the Braves. When not, I'm not saying all the players extended, but at least a good, third you know, a good 80, 50, 70% of the roster is at
Yep.
least have players for the next few years. And I don't like a roster with expiring contracts because that makes it tough for the upcoming season.
Yeah, no, I mean, like that, I can totally understand. Like JD Martinez, a Dave Dombrowski guy, Mookie Betts, like they had like all these guys, and even Xander, like when he was there, and now the only one left is Rafael Devers. Like that's literally like the only one that I can think of right
And
now off
Chris
the top
Sale,
of my head, and Chris Sale too. Yeah,
who
but
is expiring
he
contract too.
he can never stay healthy though. That's
Yeah,
the thing. but
unfortunately.
but yeah, man, like let's dive into it. Young David 3000, right? Growing up watching sports, growing up
Yep.
watching the Boston Red Sox. What was that eye catcher for you?
Um, honestly, with me, how me watching the Red Sox start is basically, I've been following them since December of 2017. I was going through, as some people know, I had a lot of surgeries in my life, and when I was in the hospital, I would watch the Red Sox because they were on TV, and I love the announcers, the way they talk, how they presented the game and how they can be funny from time to time, and it was just the Red Sox were also exciting at the time because they can actually, the games are very, can be very close, very exciting.
Right,
Um, because you never know, anything can happen to baseball.
yep,
And and when that was one of my favorite teams back in 2017, but once 2018 came, that Red Sox team, I wanted them to win so badly. Like that was to me personally, World Series or bust
yep,
for the Red Sox that year, 2018, because I knew in the upcoming year, 2019, some of the players will be gone there in that year, past their prime, past their contract. Um, so like it was 2018 World Series or bust, and that was just a special year in Boston with the Red Sox back in 2018. And that was one of my favorite teams all time to watch. And 2021 came. That was a pleasant surprise for me because I did not expect for them to be one game away, or 2 games away from a World Series, but the Astros, of course, won Game 6,
yep,
and that was a pleasant surprise. And for those who are wondering, is it World Series? Do I care about the money in our World Series? Um, I do care because Boston is my home city. I want them to get another World Championship at least in the next couple years or decades, whatever. The Red Sox.
yep,
But to me personally, it's about it's about winning for everybody to enjoy the Red Sox, and it's for me it's all about going to the playoffs because if they go to the playoffs, it's a successful year for me
yep,
because it is a special thing because you don't get to the playoffs every year. Look at look at teams who haven't been in the playoffs in decades. Okay,
right.
the Angels, the Rockies,
The Mariners,
the um, oh yeah, for 20 plus years until last year. Um,
maybe the Marlins.
all I already said that, but
Yeah,
the Arizona Diamondbacks,
yeah,
all these teams haven't made to the playoffs in decades, and with the Red Sox, we're just lucky to be able to get to at least one postseason, and also lucky to win four World Series championships in the
Oh
21st
yeah,
century after not winning the World Series since 1918.
yep,
What like that's just crazy because in
that is wild.
1975 we go to the World. No, actually, I mean, no, 1967 lose to Cardinals. 1975 we lose to the Reds, the Big Red Machine, and in 1986 we lose because people say, "Oh, Bill Buckner." No, it was actually the man. The man. There's always there's everything goes into that plan, and and of course 2003. It, that's not the World Series, but we all know happened. Red Sox Yankees CLCS, but then 2004 happened that magical comeback.
Yep.
And as for me, with football, if you're gonna ask that with the Patriots, it's all about Tom Brady and that comeback with the Falcons. That's something I will
Yeah.
never forget.
Oh
I
yeah,
will
that
never
was
forget
awesome.
that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, man. I've been a Pats fan for since I've been in high school because I got into football last. Like when you look at like the big four sports, it was
Yeah.
baseball, basketball, hockey, and then it was football. But
Oh
football
yeah.
like took off like at the very very end, and and I always tell people like the full story is that like I'm not an Eagles fan because I was actually late like to an event, and I was supposed to be there a little bit earlier, but because I was doing plays and stuff, it was getting to be we always called it Hell Week because that was like always like leading up to like the point, of like opening night for our shows.
Yeah.
We always had like these like wet tech rehearsals where we'd have to be there for like 14 hours, and it was just really crazy. And so during that week we had like a 10-hour rehearsal, and
Mm,
I was really late to the point like where I actually like got over, to my friend's house to watch the game, and we
yeah.
were hanging out with people, and it was just like, you know what, like screw this, like you missed the Eagles game, but the Patriots are still on. Like we're just gonna have you become a football fan, and that
Hmm.
was really stupid of them because they didn't realize that I was gonna become a Patriots fan just from that moment. But
Yeah.
so like it is like what it is. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. And
like
what
they
year was
literally
that, by
set
the way?
this up. What'd you say?
What year was that, by the way, when you
That
became
was
a
in
Patriots fan?
that was in 2015.
Okay. So yeah,
2015.
for all you Philly fans that watch this channel, there are reasons to back up his reason on why he's a Patriots fan. So
Thank you. Thank you. I
yes,
appreciate it. And like I don't hate the Eagles, man. Like
you
I do have
support
to be
them.
honest with you. I actually do have to be honest, man. Like when the Eagles did play the Pats in the Super Bowl, was I bummed? Of course I was a little bit bummed. But like having said that, man, like they won so many times before that. And then
Yeah,
eventually I was thinking, okay, like like next year we're gonna go back, and guess what they did? And they won, and I was really
yeah,
happy. So,
you
but
support
like,
them.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, but no, I think that that's really cool how how your sports fandom started with the Red Sox and with the Patriots. Have you ever been to a Gillette Stadium, and have you ever been to Fenway?
Um, Let me start with Gillette Stadium. I've been there a, a couple of times for the New England Revolution, which is the Major League Soccer team here
Yep.
in New England. But then for Christmas one year, I believe it was 2018, I got to see the Patriots. I forgot the other team they were playing. They were playing for a division or something at the time.
Okay.
Um, so that was the only time I've been to a Patriots game. But hopefully, sometime in the near future, I can see one again. But
Right.
most of the times I've been to Gillette Stadium for Revolution games, but hopefully in the near future for a Patriots game
Very cool.
when I can. And as for Fenway Park, I've been to a lot, like at least 20 games since 2013. I've been there for
Wow.
10 years.
Wow. Wow, that's so cool. I love the Sweet
Yes.
Caroline song, man. It's like
Oh,
always my
yes.
favorite time. It's always my favorite time.
Then
I
years
have been
ago
with
to Fenway
Fenway
Park
Park.
to see it in person.
Oh yeah, no,
Hmm.
I've been there.
Oh,
I've definitely been to
okay,
Fenway Park, and that was really cool. I got to go. I think it was like 2014, 2014. I
okay.
want to say that's what I want to say. But anyhow, they were actually playing the Rays. But
What day
so
was
man,
that
like,
actually?
what did you say?
What day was that? Can you remember?
It was a Sunday afternoon.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it was. Kyle Farnsworth was still on the team, still on the
Oh,
Rays. He was closing.
I
So,
went to the game on the 31st of May, so on
oh
that
wow,
year. So yeah,
maybe that was the game. I can't
it was
remember.
sunny. It was
Can't recall.
Saturday night baseball one.
Saturday night
So
baseball. Oh wow,
yeah.
that's cool. That's cool, man.
Hmm.
So you know, like, so you go from, like, sports fandom to to starting your own YouTube channel and putting on the headsets and just and just coming out with content on here. What inspired that?
Basically, on my channel, Whatever That's Network, it was mostly, you know, for game show content because I'm mostly a game show fan before I start getting into sports more.
Right, right.
Um, so what I've done is basically I've been watching certain YouTube channels out there that have done games of videos on their channel, and I was like, you know, I want to do the same thing. Usually at home, before I start YouTube, I made videos of me playing game shows, but then I didn't start doing YouTube until 2019 when then I was ready 100% after the practice and the springs and everything. So, 2019 is when I officially started doing YouTube, and um, I basically done some game shows here. Um, I've done a money card series, and then Press of Luck,
Yep.
um, and many other game shows. Um, there one and also live streams. And back in April 2021, I've done this series called Generate 1,000 Handles, which this upcoming Friday on September 1st, I will be bringing that show back. Generate 1,000 Handles,
Nice.
which your interview is going to be on that one, and along with other folks that I have for that interview. And let's just say one of them has to do with a game, a past game show host. I'm
Oh
not saying
wow.
now. What I mean by that is a relative of a past game
Wow.
show host that I will be interviewing on that day. So being on the lookout for that, not only for that, the those interviews, including JJ, that one will be on the same episode. It's a celebration of that show and returning with a new era.
That's
8
so
p.m.
cool.
Eastern time on that Friday, and new
Wow.
episodes every Friday. Yep.
Wow. Wow, that is really exciting, man. That is really, really
Indeed.
cool. I'm actually, like, looking forward to that, dude. I
Oh
do
yes.
I do want to ask you, man, because I know, and I wasn't really gonna bring this up, but then you did bring it up. But, like, I've know that you've been through so much, like, adversity, and, like, you've dealt with, like, a lot of surgeries, and you've dealt with
Yes.
so much, and I think it's so important to bring it up because, like, I'm somebody that a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have a metabolic disorder, and, like, I haven't really been, like, shy to talk about it. And I think
Hmm.
it's, like, really cool to actually, like, be able to talk about that and share those types of things with people, because it makes us realize that we're not perfect. Like, there's no such
Oh
thing
yeah.
as being perfect at the end of the day. Everybody has something, that they go through. And I wanted to ask you, just from all the surgeries that you've dealt with, what keeps you going every day?
I honestly think is continue what I like to do and just find something that I like to do every day. Just keep sometimes I may have tough days as for if I have something going on or sometime in the future. But I just try to do something every day, and I'm never bored usually because there's that's one thing about technology. It never keep you know you're never bored with technology because you always have something to do. There's television, there's video games, there's people you can talk to virtually.
Oh
You're never
yes.
bored. You're never bored. You know, if you have that type of technology and stuff. I know there's people who don't have nothing of that, but I'm just lucky to have that. And we also be lucky to have this technology, even though people don't sometimes don't like the technology because it makes people not healthy and all that. But there are good and bad things as for that.
My dad always says that there's a blessing and there's always a curse with everything in life. It's all
Hmm.
about how you use it, and
Oh yes, 1%.
and and so I've learned that from technology, right? Like technology has actually helped me in a lot of ways too, because when I was in the classroom, man, and I was really struggling with school, going from that 1.8 to that 3.3, I actually started recording lectures and I had like live scribe pens. This was even before like the pandemic hit and we were hit
Okay.
with Zoom and everything, but I would literally record my lectures in person, and I would try to do those things because I realized like even in the classroom, like things were going in and out of the other ear, and I wasn't retaining things. And so like wow,
Okay.
yes, like I wasn't speaking up for myself. I also did need some testing, and I also needed some, like some more virtual assistants and online text readers and those types of things. And I'm not afraid to like bring those things up because I think that that's what makes us who we are.
Oh
Like
yes.
once you accept that, I think it's just so important to, be able to help other people because you just like never know. Like I've met so many awesome people on here, like, like Snowman and just so mmany great people. And you realize that everybody has their own adversity that they deal with.
Yeah.
And
One
I
percent.
and I just think it's just so important to, just bring those types of things up because it just makes us who we are, and I
And
think that
people
that's
will
actually a
understand
good thing.
more.
Right. Yeah. People understand more, and also, people will be willing to help you out. Of course, like you're going to have the jerks out there that are just like, always going to bring you down. But the really good thing about the technology is that there are always people out there that'll always help you, like, get back
Mhm.
and help you bring you
Yes.
up. Has burnout been like a type of thing that has been like an impact for you? And if so, like how do you deal with burnout?
As for Life Channel or my channel,
Both. Both.
um, maybe it's rarely I would say. It just really depends on what's going on in my life or what's ahead in the future and all that stuff. So it really depends, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I think that it's sometimes like when I'm on here, sometimes I do realize that because I'm doing this like every day, that it
Yeah.
is a routine and it's sort of like working out. But sometimes I have to be mindful that mentally, you know, after I'm done doing the games, like there's only so much I can do. And like if I can cut highlights, great. But if I have to step away, I got to step away. And I have to make
Yes.
sure that I, like go for a walk or like go for a drive because you're in like one spot and you're not like socializing with people in person. It is a different type of a lifestyle, and you definitely do need to exercise. Like you're not a robot, you know.
Yes.
So like just finding that balance, I feel like has been something that I'm trying to work on a little bit more on,
Yeah.
and it's not so easy. But I do want to ask you this, okay? So
Yes.
we talked about the Boston Red Sox, we talked about the Patriots. Um, is there anything that you feel like that you haven't done with your channel yet, that you would like to implement in the future, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Um. Me and Jason are looking for a research team that can possibly, um, help, with certain videos to be more successful, like what's popular or not. We are looking to add new moderators to the network because we want our streams to go smoothly and don't want
Yep.
not any people in live chat. Um,
I'm
and
with you.
also just more people to the David Dyson network to bring either their content to the network or just to support or in general just be part of the team because this fall schedule coming up, which me and Jason will be making an announcement video, either on the 30th of August or the 31st of August or whenever. Um, we are going to be having a fall schedule with um just basically on the week of August 30th. We'll have an announcement video of the fall schedule coming up, and we want everybody to be involved. For you guys out there who are the fans of JJ, um, contact me on Discord or Instagram. Um, you know, you guys could probably DM me on Discord if you're on his server or whatever. Um, because uh, we want people to get involved because this is a community. We want people to be more successful because without the fans, there's no channel, there's no views.
Yep.
We want people to be successful, and I'm just looking for the network in the future to be to help the community grow more.
I always I apologize because I always every time I do these interviews, right? Because it's called
Yeah,
sharing the mic with JJ. I always ask people in the very, very beginning, okay, like what cool moment that they had sharing the mic with somebody. And I'm sure, and I know that you and Jason have had some really incredible moments together. But if you were
yes.
to pinpoint like one video or one event that you guys did, what would that be?
Hmm. Well,
I stumped you. I stumped you. I stumped you. I stumped David 3000. That was on my bucket list. No, I'm kidding.
um, honestly, there's with as for me and Jason, is even though we had difficulties, we tried to do the interview with that one person, that special guest person about the game show thing for
Right.
September 1st. We tried to do that on my other show, but we had difficulties. That was something uh, cool to meet that person. But as for my network alone, uh, me, and um, actually, I'll say this about me and Jason before I get to that. It's about me getting to work with other people.
Sure.
Like Brandon Scruggs, for example, with him being part of our team, it's been a big help. Um, so that I guess I say it's a nice moment. But as for my network in general, I honestly think me interviewing people that I enjoy talking to because interviews are my passion. Because I've been doing interviews for a few years now. I really started to get into it last year, and just interviewing the people I like, who I'm friends with, or just people that do some work for other things. Whenever I can do interviews, I want to do them weekly, and interviews are my passion. Just whenever I got a chance to meet a cool person, I'm like to do an interview. That's something I'll always remember.
For sure. For sure. But my interview is the best, right?
There's more of the interviews I've done.
Yes, 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 yes. Um, I do also like want to ask you like before we get going, I have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Like the whole learning process, you always learn every day, and I always like
Yeah.
to say that somebody that I worked with at NFL Films always said to me from day one, the day that you stop learning is the day that you're done. And I want to know, what have you learned from just this whole process of creating the channel, right? Coming out with
Yeah.
all the different types of content that you've come out with. What has been one of the main lessons that you've learned?
Um. The main lessons I've learned is try to be better, try to be better at the content, and try to be better as for getting new people on board, um, and all that good stuff. Because sometimes my views are not as good as before, but YouTube's bull crap with that anyway. Um,
Yeah,
so you know, in my view, is just keep trying on the Guys Network YouTube channel. I'm really looking forward to the schedule that launches September 4th. Like I said, the week of August 30th, you guys who are watching this, you look at it and ask the video about the fall schedule on the week of August 30th. Um, that you guys see there. And of course, JJ will put the link to my YouTube channel in the description for you
yes.
guys to check out.
That was going to be my
Um,
final question. That was going to be my
yes.
last one.
Uh,
Yep.
just be, just I'm very excited to get the schedule only next in 2 weeks. So um, it might be a challenge, but then again, I'm looking forward to doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that that would be absolutely awesome. Now, do you also have like an email or a link tree like where people can follow you on all the socials as well, just so that they can see like what you have coming
Um.
up?
Well. As for like who can contact me, you can follow me on Instagram at David345041 underscore. Just make sure you're legit because I don't want any um
Spammers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um so you can follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get that growing. You can message me on Discord. I'm on JJ server, so if you want to contact me through that way, you can. To ask me anything about my channel. Um so that's where you can mostly contact me. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Well, dude, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on here, man. I really appreciate this so much. You're the man, dude.
Yes. Yes, I'm out. Yes, I'm. This summer I tried to go on any YouTube channels to this summer to promote my fall schedule, and I'm glad that I was able to do it on this show, and
Yeah.
and I hope that you continue to do whatever it is on this channel, and hopefully you can take the next step, in the next 2 years or so.
Man, I will say like before we actually get going, like
Yeah.
you were one of the people that has actually taught me about like how important it is not only just to network with people but also just to check in. And sometimes I think that it's important for people to just like continue to follow up with other people. And you've always been somebody that has really done an awesome job at just following up. And I give you a lot of
Oh
credit for
yes.
that. And it's taught me that like when you reach out to people, especially here on YouTube, it is so easy to just kind of get like lost in the sauce because you're doing so much other stuff. But no,
Yeah.
like follow up and have those conversations. Like after we got done with that interview, hey JJ, like how, like how's everything going? Like thanks again for doing that interview with me. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, like when you're doing it like every day or yeah, in like everyday life, it's a little easier because you're like in person and because you see these people a lot. But like when you're doing it virtually, it's so easy to forget about those things just because we don't
Oh
see
yeah.
each other in person all the time, or anytime I should say, because
Yeah.
we're all virtual. But no, I do
Mm.
want to say thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
So all right guys, that's gonna wrap things up on our newest episode of Play by play with JJ. All right. I'm not here in Jersey right now, but on I will be back actually on Wednesday, but the next time that we'll be doing a Phillies game will be on Friday. So I will catch you all then. But we have some more content coming out. Don't you worry about that. If there's anything that JJ does, it's just provide everybody with some content. Love you guys.
And for
Catch you all
those
in the next one.
and for those who are watching this, feel free to check out my channel, contact me because I would love to get more to get to know you guys as well. So thanks for watching this interview, everybody.
Yep. All right. Have a good one, guys.